Good morning, guys. I hope you guys are having a good day. I hope you guys can hear me okay. We'll do some microphone checks, and I'll give you guys some time to kind of pop in and join the conversation. I want to say good morning or good afternoon or whatever it is, wherever you are. I'm still in China. I'm still in Shanghai right now, which is just such a beautiful city with beautiful people, and and I'm learning so much. I did a little walk yesterday with the Queen, of course, and we were walking through the streets of Shanghai for hours and listening for hours to Chinese history. Now I told you guys that that was my mission. That's why I'm here. I came here because I wanted to really study, really kind of see and breathe, what's happening in Chinese culture that's allowing them to prosper economically. And basically, in the time that I've been here, we've gone through about probably 3,000 years of Chinese history, maybe 2,500 years, something like that. It's a long, long, long time. We visited several cities in China. We landed in Beijing. After Beijing, we went to Xi'an, which is all these cities are massive. All these cities have, 10, 20, 30 million people. After Xi'an, we went to, we're in Shanghai, and that's where we are right now. And then after Shanghai, we're going to go to Guilin. I got all the cities, right? Okay, good. I was trying to keep up with all of them. Do me a favor while I get this set up. First of all, please, if you have not subscribed to this channel, you need to do that right now. Please do that right now. Take 1 second, hit the subscribe button and the notifications button. And also, another thing you could do right now, while I do this real quick, is go ahead and set yourself up to get text messages from me to let you know when I'm going live and stuff like that. You can actually just text my name, text the word Boyce to 31996. Just type my name, Boyce, into your cell phone and then text that to the number 31996. And that will allow us to remain connected so that all the intelligent Black people can get together for intelligent Black media. I am a big believer that intelligence can make a comeback. I believe that we don't want to have a community where intelligence is neglected for ignorance. I don't believe that it benefits us to have a community that does not value wealth building. I don't believe it benefits us to have a community that does not stand up for what is right. It does not benefit us to have a community that doesn't pay attention to the important issues. It does not benefit us to have a community that is dependent upon racist white people to take care of us. I'm big on Black independence, and as you guys know, one of our fundamental core beliefs for our organization is we believe in what we call the Black Core of Three. The Black Core of Three, write this down if you don't know it. The Black Core of Three means that we believe Black people should educate our own children, 2, create our own jobs, and 3, support Black businesses. I believe that if we do those 3 things, then we have the ability as a community to rise up and to become whatever we want to be. I think that there's nothing that Black people can't do if we do those 3 things. And I believe that that's what's going to benefit us long term. Because really, if you look at, when I was studying Chinese history and just kind of looking at how China became this great economic and political superpower around the world, this is not this wasn't something that happened overnight. This is something that's happened over, thousands of years of consistent behavior and movement in a certain direction. Also, the thing you got to understand too is that, being on top is kind of like, being the best team in the NBA. One year it might be the Golden State Warriors. The next year, or 5 years later, the Golden State Warriors might be the worst team in the league. If you recall, going back 5 years, the Golden State Warriors were a horrible team. They were terrible. They were laughing stock of the NBA. And years later, you see that because they did a consistent building process, they now have a team that seems unbeatable. But they're also going to have an ebb and flow. They're going to have, my queen always tells me about the hermetic principles. She says everything ebbs and flows. So eventually there's going to be a time they're going to have a drought. They're going to have a period of time where they're going to say, man, I don't even remember the last time we won a game. I don't remember, us even thinking that we could win a championship. Tell us about the days back in the day when Steph Curry and Kevin Durant and all those guys used to dominate the entire league. We want to go back to that, right? And so ultimately, for us as Black people, we really truly have to understand that what you're seeing now in the Black community is completely temporary. It's not important in long-term history. Long-term history is hundreds of years, maybe thousands of years, and we ain't even touched the surface. Most of us are thinking in terms of 5-10 year periods, and 5-10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, 80 years is not a long time. And so what I encourage you to do is consider the fact that if you do certain things right now, you have tremendous power over the next century. You may not have power right now. You may not have power over what happens in your community right now, because it's hard to change everything right now. Just like the worst team in the league has a hard time winning a Super Bowl right now, but you have tremendous power over the future. If you go ahead and make certain changes in your family right now, then you can actually impact your family's power in 50 years or 100 years. If you do things right now, then you can make sure your grandchildren are multi-millionaires. If you do things right now, you can put your family in a position where they will celebrate you. They will sing songs about you for the next 200 years because you will be the father or the mother of great prosperity. So when I'm in China, I see these monuments for certain people like Mao Zedong and other great leaders of the past. And they look at these people and they say, that's the father of China. He's the one who came in when everything was ratchet. He's the one that came in when everything was all messed up. He was the one that came in when everything was going crazy. He was the one that came in when there was no hope. He was the one that came in when we were losing. He's the one that came in when China was getting his ass kicked, and he stepped up as a leader and planted seeds back then that allowed China to win right now. Right? So what I encourage you to do is look at your own family. Don't look at the whole Black community. Don't look at all of America. White America, they got white people problems. That ain't got nothing to do with you. A little bit to do with you, but not much. White people fighting each other, Democrat, Republican, all that. And that's what they do. Don't worry about the whole Black community. A lot of Black folks, and it actually connects to what I'm going to talk about today. The topic we're going to hit on today. A lot of Black folks are lost. A lot of Black folks are behind. A lot of Black folks want to stay stupid. They want to move backward. It's okay. They'll figure it out once they get. You see, the thing is, you only get pushed to progress when you get your ass kicked enough. I'll give you an example. In China, there were people in China that did not want to modernize. There were people in China that were warned over and over again. Look, the Mongols are going to invade from the north, and if we don't get our military together, somebody gonna come in here, rape your women and kidnap your children and burn down your village. Right? They were warned that, look, if we don't step our game up, we're gonna get took out. And these were the nerds. These were the people like us, the people who sit here in these groups that we have and talk about what's going to happen to the Black community, how we're going to perish, how we're going to get just slaughtered if we don't make moves now, how we're going to get left behind if we don't make changes now, if we don't make reforms now, we're going to get our butts kicked. So these were the nerds. Back in Chinese history, you had the nerds and the visionaries who said, in 50 years, if we don't make these changes right now, our whole community will perish. And nobody listened. And so you had the leaders and you had the coons, and the coons started listening when the Mongols came in, or whoever invaded China that year. Just pick a year, somebody was always kicking China's ass, and they came in and they did exactly what they said. They raped the women, they kidnapped and enslaved the children, they burned down the villages, and they took all their shit. And then the certain leaders were like, look, we told y'all this was going to happen if you didn't get it together. And they're like, yeah, we know now. We understand now. We're going to make some changes now. And that's what had to happen. Some people got to touch the stove and know it's hot. Some people have to go through it in order to be ready to do it. Some people won't do it unless they go through it, right? Some of y'all already been through it. That's why you're ready to do it. You've already known what it's like to be dominated by a white man. You already know what it's like to get left behind. You already know what it's like to see trauma and tragedy around every corner. You already know what it's like to see your little cousin get shot. You already know what it's like to go and have to serve some Donald Trump like motherfucker every day on a job. You already know what it's like to look for money for food and not have enough money for that. You already know what it's like maybe to be homeless or to go through complete hell. Maybe you know what it's like to be riddled under so much student loan debt that you don't know how you're gonna get out. You already know what it's like to get your ass kicked. You already know what it's like to come in last place. I know what it's like. I know what it's like. I've been there. I've been broke. I grew up, I was born in the projects. My mom was 17 years old when she gave birth to me. I know what it's like to get the lights cut out. I know what it's like to see the car get repossessed. I know what it's like to not have a place to live. I know what it's like to literally feel humiliated by white people. So you have to go through a process. I've gone through the process. You've gone through the process. That's why we're meeting and talking together. Some people just ain't gone through it enough yet. Some people need to go through it. So give them time. Until then, we're going to go ahead and start preparing the village for them. You and your family, what you got to do, in my opinion, is go ahead with your children and start making reforms right now to prepare your children for the future. War has been declared on Black people. War has always been declared on Black people. That war is not going to change. That war is not going to go away. And the war is going to get worse over time. In 30 years, there's going to be another war where your children are going to be the people under attack. You're going to be old and gray. Maybe some of y'all will be dead. But in 30, 40 years, your children will be the ones under attack. Donald Trump is not going away. He got babies. His babies are going to have babies. And those babies are going to come and attack your children and try to exploit them and try to take them out or whatever. The question you must ask yourself today is, are you going to make the reforms necessary to protect them in the future? Or are you going to do what some of the Chinese people did and not make changes and then have somebody invade you, burn down your village, take your women, take your children, take your stuff, do all these horrible things to you before you realize, like, man, I should have been listening back then. I could, if I had been invested, $5 a day like Dr. Boyce used to say back in 2018, man, we'd have $500,000 right now. Like that's what you'll be saying, right? And so the models are there, the preparation methods are available. It comes down to two major areas, economics and education. When I look at China and the prosperity China has and the economic and political power China has, most of it really comes down to economics and education. The two things that the government does, two of the major things that the government does to allow them to prosper is, one, they make sure people are good economically, and two, they give them more freedom. When they gave them more freedom and made sure they were in good shape economically, then you saw China, taking off, prospering, everybody's happy, everybody's good, right? So same thing is true in your own family. Educate your own kids, even if they go to public school, whatever. When they come home, give them a real education, give them a Black education, give them a quality education. Number two, learn how to create your own sustainable economic engines. Stop feeding into a system that ain't feeding you. Stop digging into a system and doubling down on bullshit. Stop giving everything you got to something that ain't giving you nothing back. Stop giving, your future to a system that has been proven to be racist, that has been proven to mistreat Black people, that has been proven to neglect Black people economically. That don't make no damn sense. So anyway, let me jump to the topic for today. Y'all know how I do. Some people get mad because they're like, Dr. Boyce, why don't you get to the point, man? You got to talk about this and start talking about it, because they want to watch a 2-minute video, man. I give them the middle finger. I'm going to do it the way we do it. We flesh things out. We talk about the issues. We're not here to gossip and just have like a good show. We're here to actually dig in and talk about some shit that's going to make a difference for all of us long term. Now, let me give a shout out to some people who just joined the League of Intelligent Black People. You can join. It doesn't cost. The fee is very, very low, and it gives you access to a bunch of really cool stuff. So you can feel free to check it out. The Tandra Fit. I want to say welcome to Tandra Fit. If you happen to be here, I don't know if you hear Tandra, but if you hear your name and you're here, shout, say something in the feed so I can say hello to you. Tandra Fit, James W. Griffin, Denise Jeffrey, Tarian Stevens. I see Lil T. I'm gonna call you Lil T because I don't see your full name, but I see T. Rhonda Harris, Yolanda Carey, Nakia Clark, Rakaya Holmes, Janae Antoinette, Kimberly Yergin, Robin Roberts, maybe Robin Roberts from Good Morning America, Tahira Hassan, Derek Cecil Williams, Brenda McCoy Troy, Daryl Drayton Muhammad, Joyce Laverne Washington, Arnett Reynolds, and there's others in here as well. If you want to be a part of the League of Intelligent Black People, feel free to go to intelligentblackpeople.com. That's intelligentblackpeople.com. These are people that basically believe in the mission, believe in what we're doing, and basically we allow you to make a contribution to help us keep this Black media going and growing. But we don't do donations. We don't believe in taking something from you without giving you something back. So if you were to join, you'll find that there's a ton of free benefits that you get for being a patron. For example, you get access to the intelligent rap sessions. That's what I call them, the IRS, where we are going to be in a small group setting and have conversations. Once I get back from China and have good Wi-Fi, we'll have small group conversations where you'll be able to talk to me. I'll be able to talk to you. It'll be a two-way kind of flow. Also, there's free stuff, free classes, free web seminars, things like that for your whole family. Just a lot of cool stuff. So feel free to check it out. It's intelligentblackpeople.com. That's intelligentblackpeople.com. So Patrick says, thank you for your work. You're welcome. Gloria Postel says, will do. Dennis says, wait to forced to forgive. Got to hear this. Yeah, so let's get into this. Okay, so y'all know about the little black boy, right? Y'all remember the little black boy who got falsely accused of sexual assault by this crazy white woman? I don't know if y'all saw that or not, but I'm gonna dig up their names, because I should have had their names out here. He was 9 years old, and he was accused. This lady, this crazy chick, decided, hey, I for some reason I have nothing better to do with my life than to throw out some Becky tears and hope that the rest of the world gives me the attention that I feel like I deserve because I'm a white woman. And so she accuses this little 9-year-old black boy of grabbing her booty. She's like, she calls the cops. She calls the police and says she was sexually assaulted. She says she was sexually assaulted because she believed in her crazy ass head that a 9-year-old had touched her butt. She felt her ass was so sacred, apparently, that anybody who even brushes up against her booty needs to go to jail. They need police on the scene to protect this white woman's ass. So she cries her Becky tears, and this woman, I'm looking for her. I'm looking for her name. Her name is Teresa Klein. So Teresa Klein, she calls the cops, and here's what she says. She says, "That's right. Her son grabbed my ass." Klein can be heard saying to the 911 operator in the video posted on Facebook. And the mother, she's talking about the little boy's mama now, decided to yell at me. There are security cameras in this bodega. So they called her Corner Store Caroline. That's what they called her. That's the nickname. I guess we feel like we get black people ain't got. I guess we don't think we got no real power, so we like to get revenge on people by making up nicknames and stuff, and we think that's like fun and funny and all that. In other communities, they don't care about making up a nickname. They're not going to get you back with a vicious nickname. They're gonna either come whoop your ass or make sure you go to jail. They're not going to just make up a vicious nickname about you. But anyway, here's the thing. So the little boy, what's the little brother's name? Let me dig up his name. And I'm not in any way attacking this child at all, because he's been traumatized enough. But it needs to be talked about. The little boy's name is Jeremiah Harvey, and so Jeremiah Harvey starts off with saying what everybody should say, which is, I do not forgive this woman. I do not forgive this woman. And I'm gonna tell you what, if that was my son, it'd be like, we don't forgive this bitch. We do not forgive her. I'm gonna grab more than your ass. I'm about to grab your neck, and it's about to go down up in here. You trying to traumatize my kids, send my children to prison, put them in the black boy to prison pipeline. It ain't no just a school to prison pipeline. It's a black male to prison pipeline. It's not a coincidence that black men fill up the prisons. You live in a country that still has legal slavery. You live in a country where slavery was never made illegal. Kanye West, in his crazy ass, brought that up. Slavery is still legal in America. Stop acting like it's the past. It ain't the past. Slavery is legal, and that is connected to the fact that penitentiaries have more, on a per capita basis, more black men than anybody else. So anyway, so Corner Store Caroline, this a crazy white woman, calls the cops on this little 9-year-old boy saying he grabbed my ass. He says, I do not forgive this woman. I thought that was great. Good. Okay. He's speaking up for himself. So I get another video, right? I get little birdies that send me videos. By the way, if you follow me on Facebook, at all, which is facebook.com/Dr. Boyce Watkins. You can just hit the follow button. It's just like being a friend of mine. I don't have room for friends on my personal page, but you can just follow and you can connect with me that way. People send me videos, and I'm so happy that they do, because sometimes I'll see videos that literally make my head explode to the point where I'm like, I gotta jump out of bed and talk about this. This needs to be addressed by somebody who's got some common sense. And so if you ever want to send me something, feel free to send me a link. Be like, hey Boyce, did you see this? So somebody sent me this link today, and what's the sister's name? She's an actress out of California, Angela Castle. And so Angela sends me this video and in the video, the little boy has changed his position. Suddenly, it's like it's going in the other direction, him and his mama. I'm looking at the video right now, and I don't want to play it because I don't want to get a copyright issue. YouTube is big on copyrights and all that. So I'm just looking at this video, and the little boy's talking about how he felt humiliated. And his mother is talking about, again, it starts off pretty normal. And she's saying, she's even going deeper into the trauma. She says that he was pointing to, patrol cars on Flatbush Avenue in Brooklyn. And shout out to Brooklyn. I love Brooklyn. I mean, when I go to Brooklyn, I get so much support, and I'm so thankful and appreciative of you, because I respect Brooklyn more than most cities, honestly. Brooklyn and Oakland stand out in my head. Other cities are amazing, Houston, stuff like that, but Brooklyn, there's a special type of Black people in Brooklyn. Many Black people in Brooklyn are very strong, very intelligent, very Black, not scared. That's why I was so surprised to see this come out of Brooklyn. So his mother's talking about how this little boy, in the mind of a child, he's thinking, mama, are you gonna, are the police gonna take you away from us? So him and his sister's bawling. He's like mortified, because they've been victimized by a predator. This predator has victimized and traumatized their children. And he's asking his mother, are the police gonna take you away from me? And so the mother talks about how tough it is to have a conversation with your 9-year-old son about sexual assault, which, that's gonna stick with him. That's going to stick with him. That's going to stay with him forever. 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 Remember this. Pay attention. Listen to this. Remember those songs. Remember those lyrics in that song I think it was Grandmaster Flash, who said, a child is born with no state of mind, blind to the ways of mankind. Y'all remember that? A child is born with no state of mind. What does that mean? That means that he doesn't know exactly what it means to be a sexual predator. He doesn't know. He doesn't know what it means. So when you accuse him, when you've allowed him to be accused like that, or you're talking to him about it, like as if rational people might think that he might have done something like that, and assaulted somebody, molested somebody, whatever it is, he's gonna walk away from that conversation wondering, like, did I do something wrong? Like, am I a rapist? Am I a sexual predator? He's going to carry that with him. I know that because I remember being a kid and people asking weird questions because I didn't see myself as a man. I was a kid, and I was like, oh my God, did I do something to hurt somebody? I don't think I did. What did I do? And that stays with him. It stays with him. So she's making this very logical point. So the mom kind of talks about this, and she says, I never thought I'd have this conversation with my son at all. And then the son says she had to sit down to the bed and on the bed and explain to me. And then his mama, God bless her soul, his mama comes out and says, I accept her apology. She says, I accept her. I'm like Scooby-Doo. I'm like, what? Wait, huh? Like the record literally screeches off the needle screeched off the record when I heard that shit. I said, what? Are you serious right now? Are you serious? And then she goes into this kumbaya speech like, I want unity. I don't want no harm to this lady. God, man. How do I say it without being mean? I don't want to be mean. She's a mom, and I feel bad for her. But that sounds like some shit somebody would say on a plantation in 1742. I swear to God, it sounds like somebody who just came home from church on the plantation in South Carolina in 1742. I swear to God, what I don't want no harm to come to this lady. I want unity. Unity with what? The lady's a predator. She's a criminal. How often do you see somebody commit a crime against anybody where the victim of the crime says, because I want unity, I accept your apology, and I don't want no harm to come to this lady? How can y'all black women tell me, do you think you could go out and steal something and rob some white people, maybe on your job? Like, you know, I knew some young girls that I used to mentor. One of them got caught up in a situation where her and her friends decided stupidly to go and work at a nursing home and steal old white people's credit cards, right? Not knowing credit cards could be tracked. So they went to prison for this. But do you think that these white people would say, I accept your apology. I want unity. We want unity. We don't want no harm to come to these young ladies. Do you think that they would say that? No. They would send your black ass straight to prison and ask them to throw away the key. If they had given those young girls who stole the white people's credit cards, if they had given them a life sentence, those white people who were victims of the crime wouldn't have blinked an eye. They would have been like, good, they deserve it. She took $80 off my credit card, and I needed that $80. That's what they would do. They would send you to prison for as long as they felt like it, over $80, because they don't care about you being black and they don't care about no criminal. So here this woman, this mom, watch this crazy white woman traumatize her son, victimize her children in a horrible way. And she's already on the forgiveness soul train. She's already on the Angel Mama train. Like, what the hell, man? What the hell? You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when Dylan Roof went into that church and shot up all those black people and all those dumbass Negroes. And I'm sorry, y'all dumb. If you one of those black people right now, you're stupid. I'm sorry. I'm telling you that you're brainwashed and you're stupid. These dumbass Negroes were sitting in the church trying to forgive him before the trial even began, going out of their way, again, trying to earn their meritorious manumission. Meritorious manumission, Dr. Claude Anderson talks about this, where black people get rewarded for getting white people to like them, for making white people happy. That's what that was. That was a slave tradition of meritorious manumission, where you get rewarded by saying things that make white people comfortable. So they're earning their meritorious manumission by going into the damn courthouse, taking the day off work, took a day off work, went down to the courthouse when a man just shot up half your damn family, and are trying to forgive him before the trial even begins. Oh my God. Oh my God. Can't you forgive him from prison? Can't you forgive him after the trial is over? Can't you forgive him in private? Go home, get on your knees, go next to the bed, say, Jesus, I forgive him, but don't tell nobody because I'm gonna sound like a coon. Like, just whatever, just do that. But you literally, pay attention, there's a reason why they went out of their way to go down to the courthouse to be in front of white people and in front of the media to express their forgiveness in public. There's a difference. There's a difference. I'm gonna give you an example, real life example, my life. I have a black woman in my life that I love. I love her so much. She is so awesome. Most beautiful woman in the world, smartest woman I ever met. And from the minute I laid eyes on her, I thought she was just as gorgeous as the most beautiful sunrise that you would see on a tropical island. I love this woman, and I ain't scared to tell nobody about it. Now, there's different levels to a man's love. There's the man who might lust after you and want to come see you at nighttime, like after midnight, do a booty call, right? But he don't want nobody to know he's hanging out with you, right? He might come see you, but he ain't gonna tell nobody, right? He likes you, but he don't like you enough to tell everybody he likes you, right? Then there's level two. Level two is where he says, look, I love you, you're mine, we're gonna go do things together. I think you're wonderful, right? And he tells her this, and he acts on this. And then level three is when he goes to the top of the highest mountain and he yells at the top of his lungs with a megaphone, I love this woman. I loves me some Mississippi Smith. I loves this black woman, right? There's levels to this shit, levels. levels. So the same thing would be true when you're talking about this whole like forgiveness thing, right? You know, there's the forgiveness you could do in private where you go home and you just forgive somebody silently. And then there's the forgiveness. Maybe the next level is you might tell your friends, yeah, I forgive him, but don't tell nobody because I don't want nobody to know. And then there's like the other level where you might even go visit the person in jail and say, look, I forgive you. But you know, I need you to do your time so you can get the help you need. And we want you in prison for a long time so we can help you, because the longer you're in there, the more you'll probably be rehabilitated. And I don't want this to happen to nobody else. So I need you to do your prison time. But just know, you know, while you're doing your prison time, if it helps you feel better, I forgive you. That's we good. We good. Pound it. You know, at your parole board hearing, I'm not going to take a day off work or nothing, but I'm not going to show up to tell them to keep you in prison longer. I'll just let the chips fall where they may. And then there's like extreme love for white people. There's meritorious manumission. Meritorious manumission is where you go to the top of the highest mountain with a megaphone and you scream to the world on ABC, NBC, CNN, and CBS, I forgive this person. I love you. Jesus told me that I'm supposed to forgive no matter how many of my relatives you shot up, no matter how many of my children you traumatized. And that's what it is. I love you. I don't care who knows about it. That's what this says to me is, you know, when you look at the situation with Dylan Roof and the fact that, you know, in the Dylan Roof case, these people went out of their way to publicly yell. They were yelling. Go watch the video. They were yelling in the courtroom that they forgive him. And then you compare it to this situation. This woman she didn't just forgive the lady privately, have a woman-to-woman comment. Look, girl, I understand. I forgive you. Get back on your meds. I'm gonna still let the police take you away because I think you need help. I don't want you to harm anybody else, but I forgive you. You can even call me and I can help you kind of understand the harm that's done by your actions. She didn't do that. She went on ABC News, national TV, and said, I accept her apology. I want unity. I don't want no harm done to this lady. So I accept her apology. There is no apology. There is no fucking apology. There is no authentic apology. Don't say I accept her apology because she didn't apologize to you. You know what she gave you? She gave you a fake apology that comes out of the mouth of somebody who knows they in some deep ass shit. She gave you a fake apology from a woman who said, oh shit, black people ain't bowing down no more. They're coming to get my ass. The whole internet is trolling me right now. They done attacked me with a nickname and they know my address. She apologized because she's like, I hope that these niggas don't sue me and send me to jail because I don't want to go to jail, right? That's why that wasn't no apology. You were not forgiving an apology. You were forgiving the bullshit words that come out of somebody's mouth when they know they in some shit. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know when your kids get caught doing something and they like, mommy, I'm really sorry. I'll never do it again. I apologize. I'm so sorry. Half the damn time they're saying it because they know they about to get grounded. Maybe for some of y'all, they might be getting a whooping or whatever it is. I was the quickest to apologize to mama when I got caught and knew I was about to take an ass whooping. I would apologize. Whatever you need me to say in the moment, I will say those things. So the idea that she's forgiving an apology is hilarious. It's like the emotional version of shadow boxing. You're engaging with something that really isn't real. That is not a real apology, because if she was really sorry, she never would have assaulted your child and your children and your whole family in the first place. If she was really sorry, she never would have done that shit. So logically, it would be time for her to pay the piper. Again, you can accept an apology from behind a jail cell wall. You can accept an apology while you're in the middle of civil proceedings suing her for $10 million for traumatizing your kids. You can accept the apology after her prison sentence is over. Because y'all know where I stand. Y'all know where I'm at. Becky, I think anybody who falsely accuses another person of a serious crime that might get them sent to prison should get the same amount of time in prison as the person would have gotten had the allegations gone through. That's where I stand on that. And the idea that there are some people who think that that's too extreme, or, oh, that's too radical, Boyce. Oh my goodness, that's not fair. That's going to make legitimate victims afraid to speak up. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Are you retarded, or do you not understand basic, simple reciprocity? Do you not understand that fairness implies that you should get the same penalty you were trying to give me? Do you not understand the concept of an eye for an eye? Do you not understand the basics of justice? You don't understand it because you live in a country where justice is not applied equally. So you're not accustomed to the idea of a white woman getting as much time in prison as you would gladly give a black man. You're not used to that. You're like, wait a minute. Whoa, hold on. Wait. Now, let's not get crazy here. We're talking about sending a good white woman to prison and making her go through what a black man goes through. Well, we can't have that. Yes, we can. Like Barack Obama, was it Barack who had that slogan? Yes, we can. Well, I'm here to say to you that for the sake of hope and change, yes, we can. Yes, we can. So anyway, let me keep going. Let me stop for a minute and tell you guys, take a second, please, and help me like push these videos, let people know that what we're talking about. I personally think this is the best channel. If I were you and I had kids, I'd want my kids listening to this every day so they can understand how the world works. But just know, like, sometimes I cuss, and I'm a realist because I got that from my daddy. My daddy used to cuss, but my daddy gave me the real on how the world worked, and what that did was that prepared me for life. So please hit the like button, the share button, subscribe button, thumbs up button if you're on YouTube, anywhere else. Also, if you want to join our League of Intelligent Black People, you can actually go to intelligentblackpeople.com. That's intelligentblackpeople.com. There's a small fee, doesn't cost more than a trip to McDonald's, but there are huge benefits that are about 100 times greater than that. So since you're gonna spend money with white people anyway, we're just asking you to just give us like a little like 1% of what you spend with white people. If you give us like 1%, we can take that and we can do 10 times more for you than white people ever could. So feel free, go to intelligentblackpeople.com if you'd like to be a part of the organization. All right, so let me, I gotta calm down. Sometimes I just, I get overexcited about stuff like this because it pisses me off so bad. Y'all gotta forgive me. So in case you just got here, what we're talking about is this 9-year-old boy who has basically been pushed to forgive this white woman. The little boy's name is, I got his name right here, Jeremiah Harvey. The lady who falsely accused him of grabbing her butt is Teresa Klein. Jeremy and his mama apparently have decided that they want to forgive this lady. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense. I personally think that fairness implies that she should be in prison right now. I don't think that you should be talking about forgiveness at this stage in the game. Also, remember this: whenever a lot of times, remember when Bill Cosby went to prison, in that case where there was no evidence. Again, Bill Cosby, we know Bill Cosby probably, I don't think he was a good guy. I think that he probably did some stuff that he was accused of doing. But the problem is that when, 40, 50 people are saying you did this to me, and they never ever, not one of them filed a police report, and all of them were going to see him, not all of them, but a big chunk of them were going to visit him afterward and asking him for money and hanging out with him. It kind of muddied the waters a little bit. It muddied the waters, right? And then also there was this little thing called evidence that was missing. But apparently when you want to convict a black man, you don't need evidence. You can do it all by magic, like Becky's magical tears, right? Remember when the people were coming forward to accuse Cosby? Remember that? And they were kind of like saying, well, I'm doing this because I don't want him to do this to anybody else. Remember that? A lot of people said that. They said, well, we're coming forward because we don't want him to do this to anybody else, which, I mean, come on. You know that when Gloria Allred goes and gets that 50 million, 100 million that she's suing for, whatever, they're gonna still ask for that check. They still gonna want that money. If you take the money out of the equation, I bet you at least 30 of the accusations go away, because a lot of them were drug addicts and liars and everything else. But then there were probably some people in there who were legitimately victimized by him. And I do think that it's ironic to me that none of them called the cops, though. I think that's kind of, if you have a child and your child's a victim of an assault, tell them to call the police, and nobody's going to come kill them because they called the cops. This idea that a person can say, well, I'm too fragile, I'm too stupid to pick up the phone and call 911 because I was afraid of all these horrible things that are going to happen. I felt like the police were going to come rape me, or whatever it is that people are saying. Like, that's kind of interesting, because those little dumb excuses are only available to white women. Only white women have the right to be that stupid. Men can't do that. Black men can't do that. Black men could never say, yeah, I need you to go prosecute this crime, and I didn't call the police because I was afraid of this, this, and this. Now, black men, we have a real legitimate reason to be afraid of the cops. You know, we call the cops, bad things happen. We get shot more than anybody else, all that. So we have a reason to fear the cops. But even myself, as a black man, if somebody committed a crime against me 30 years ago and I said I was too scared to call the cops, I can't come back and press charges 30 years later and say, yeah, I was afraid. This is why I didn't report. And you should understand that, and then give me a pass and let me turn in my homework 30 years late, so to speak, and still get the same grade as somebody who turned in their homework the day of. That's the racial bias that you're seeing. There's no example. You can't give me one example anywhere at any point where a black person is allowed to say, you know, this is why I was too dumb or too feeble-minded or too afraid to call the police. And it happened 30 years ago, and I need you to go back and prosecute as if it happened last week. We're not allowed that pass. We don't get that pass anywhere. Someone might understand why we didn't call the cops. They might believe us. Like if I say, well, you know, I'm just a scared little Negro and I was too scared to call the cops and blah, blah, blah. People might say, yeah, I understand that, Boyce. That really makes sense. You are a scared little Negro, and that's what black people do. But we can't prosecute, Boyce. We don't have any evidence. It's 30 years ago, and you didn't call the police. Why didn't you call the cops? Right? Black people aren't allowed to do that. Let's just be clear. Black people are not allowed to do that. White women are given that privilege and nobody else. So, I just encourage those of you who are smart enough to rise above the propaganda, smart enough to rise above the brainwashing, to kind of look at this, look at these conversations, look at these hashtags like why I didn't report. The hashtag should be white woman's excuses, right? That's what the hashtag really should be. White woman excuses, where white woman excuses says, well, I didn't call the police because of this, or I didn't tell anybody because of that. And black people are not allowed to do that. If all of us were allowed to do that, that would make sense. But all of us are not allowed to do that. So remember in the Cosby situation, one of the things that people were saying consistently is, I want him to be punished so that he doesn't do this to anyone else, right? Even though he's 80 years old, he's blind, his penis probably don't work, you know, without a couple of blue pills, right? I'm sure, right? But yet they still think that he's going to do the things he did when he was 35, or allegedly, right? Okay, fine. But it's fascinating because in this case, I think the same logic could be applied. This woman is a predator. This woman who falsely accuses black boy is a predator. And here's what happened, ma'am. I'm saying this to the little boy's mama. When you have forgiven this woman and you don't want no harm to come to this lady, those are the words she used. I don't want no harm to come to this lady. When you don't want no harm to come to this lady, what basically you have done, here's what you've done. This is why you've harmed your people. You have released a predator into the streets. You have released a predator to go and harm somebody else's child. You have released a predator who is gonna gladly send another little black boy to prison if she gets an opportunity to do so. You have released somebody into the community that's gonna harm countless people. So you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed. I mean, what you're doing, what you just did here is kind of terrible. You know, and I will say this to black people, you know, this is why they don't respect you. This is why they victimize you. This is why they continuously attack you, is because when you get attacked, you don't do nothing. You don't do nothing. This lady's not apologizing because she's sorry. She apologized because she was in trouble. She apologized because she didn't want to deal with the consequences of her behavior. And there's no place where black people are allowed to just apologize and make the crime go away. Think about how many families would be brought back together if the father who got 40 years in prison for selling dope was allowed to just issue a sincere apology and get out of the whole situation. And that imagine the judge cared enough to say, I don't want no harm to come to this family. I don't want no harm to come to this family. These babies need their dad. So I'm going to go ahead and let you go because you were 18 when you got caught with the crack. And as long as you promise not to do this no more, I'm going to let you go. Think about how many little babies would have been spared hundreds of nights of crying themselves to sleep if their fathers could have simply apologized and got sent back home to their children. So if you want to know why I don't care if little Julio from El Salvador is separated from his parents when his mom is trying to cross the border illegally or whatever, the reason I don't have much sympathy for that is because y'all don't have any sympathy for black kids. And half the Negroes out here caping for the Democrats and the liberals and the white folks who got you working on their agenda, but ain't spending no time on yours. You ought to be ashamed of yourself for crying over divided families from south of the border, but shedding no tears for divided families in your own damn community. You got black people in your own community who have had divided families for 20 years because of what somebody did in a courtroom years ago. I have met father-son duels where both the father and the son were sentenced by the same judge for 20, 30 years in prison, where the father and the son are both in prison together. These are slave plantations, y'all. This is where slavery is happening. Slavery is real. The plantation is real. All they got to do is find an excuse, change a law to label you a felon. And we're back in 1725. So slavery is very, very real. And they have no sympathy for any of that. But yet I'm supposed to feel sorry because somebody who broke federal law is separated from their mama for about 2 weeks. Y'all get the hell up out of here with all this. It is literally these scenarios are just perfect and hilarious prototypical examples of just how backward and stupid a segment of our population is. It's an example of how ignorant and racist the white community still is, even when they don't know it. Not that all of them are bad people. I know some good white folks who treat others kindly, and I respect them. But there is this white supremacy thing that is huge and ain't never gonna go away. That's why I tell y'all need to go away. White supremacy ain't gonna go away. Y'all need to go away. When I say go away, I mean get away from these systems. Stop putting your kids in the school to prison pipeline. Stop sending your children to become economic slaves for the next Donald Trump. Donald Trump's having kids. Those kids, there's a million Donald Trumps in this world who are running little companies and little factories and little businesses that your children will be showing up begging him for a job. You can't fight Donald Trump when your kids are begging people like him for a job. Seriously, how are you going to compete with somebody when all you know how to do is beg them to give you an opportunity? That makes you look pathetic. That makes you look weak, right? So you got to get away from that. It's gonna be difficult. It ain't easy. It takes work. But we got to build our own businesses, y'all. We got to have our own companies. We got to create our own jobs. We got to have a place to send our children economically so they don't have to go beg Donald Trump for a job. But if you want to know why they don't respect you, it's because you spend too much time begging, too much time forgiving, too much time trying to find reconciliation with somebody who literally spits in your face every time you try to reconcile with them. It's crazy to me. It makes no sense. I'm gonna go because I'm starting to become an angry black man right now. Y'all, this stuff just infuriates me. My head literally starts. I literally start feeling overheated. Like I feel heat in my head. So I'm gonna go and probably like take a cold shower or something, let the steam go off my head. And before I go, do me a favor. Make sure you hit the like button, share button, and subscribe button. Do that. And I want to give you. Remember, I told you guys that since we're not getting proper education in school, if a lot of y'all went to the same schools I did, and they didn't teach you nothing about Black history, so I decided to teach Black history. And actually, I'm going to start teaching powernomics. I'm going to do a powernomics lesson during my podcast. That way, you won't just walk away mad. You'll walk away building something new. Take your energy and don't take your energy and use it to destroy. Don't use your energy just to march and yell and scream. Use a lot of your energy, the majority of your energy, to build something better. And I believe in building a stronger Black family. I believe if we build a stronger family, we can build stronger communities. So if I were you, I would focus on saying to myself, my family, that's my castle. I'm the king, I'm the queen. We're going to do it up in here. Up in here, we're going to have a different world from what is out there, right? It's a different world from where you come from. That should be our motto. So anyway, let me give you the Black history melanated mogul of the day. Her name is Jolene H. Robichaud. Jolene H. Robichaud was born May 21st, 1928. Here's an animated picture of her on the flashcard, and here's her actual picture on the back. In 1967, which Robichaud was, let me see if I can do the third quick, 39 years old. Robichaud and her husband purchased Baldwin Ice Cream Company, the first African-American owned ice cream company in Chicago. Robichaud became president and CEO. When Robichaud took over Baldwin, the company's gross sales were $300,000. In 1984, Robichaud became the second African-American to open a food concession at O'Hare International Airport. She eventually grew Baldwin into a major corporation with annual sales topping $5 million by 1985. So her name is Jolene Robichaud, and some of y'all might know her. I'm from the, I live in the Chi, so y'all probably, everybody know everybody. So y'all probably know this lady. Somebody knows of her or something like that. So Jolene Robichaud, you are one of our melanated moguls. And if you want your kids and your family to learn about Black economic history, so they can learn that Black people have done a whole lot more than just beg for jobs, you can actually purchase a copy of these cards at melanatedmoguls.com. That's melanatedmoguls.com. And so also, if you and your family want to just, somebody type that in, please. So in case somebody didn't see it, that's melanatedmoguls.com. Also, if you want to join the League of Intelligent Black People, it's a small little club we have where we get together for small group conversations. Doesn't cost much to join. Doesn't cost you more than buying a McDonald's value meal, but it does help us in terms of investing in the community, expanding Black media, which is our #1 goal for this generation. Or one of our top 2 or 3 goals. It's part of Dr. Claude Anderson's Powernomics Ladder, where he talks about building an economic foundation, using your economics to control the politics. And then after that, you get to control the courts and the judges. Then after that, you reach out and you control media, then you control education. So the 3 areas where we are the strongest at Boyce Watkins Enterprises is in the area of developing economic strength. Also in the area of developing Black media. We reach 1 million Black people a week by ourselves, which we did literally with the scraps that we had. If we had millions of dollars, if I had one 1/100th of Floyd Mayweather's money, I literally could have taken over the whole Black community by now. Like, we literally could have we could have a chain of Black schools across the country if Floyd Mayweather donated 1/100th or invested, not even donated. I don't do donations. But if Floyd Mayweather literally took 1/100th of the money that he has given to white people and invested that money in the future of Black people, I am smart enough, and I'm not scared to say this, I am smart enough that I could have gotten a committee of my smartest friends, and we could have taken that money and turned that into a chain of Black-owned schools all across the United States, just with 1/100th of the money that Floyd Mayweather has given to white people. So what we ask you guys to do, to consider in the League of Intelligent Black People, is to take the amount of money, add up the amount of money you give white people every month. Maybe it's $2,000, maybe it's $5,000, whatever, $10,000 for some of you, and take that number, maybe divide it by 100. So if you give $5,000 a month to white people, 5,000 divided by 100 is $50. If you give us $50 a month, we will make sure that you're getting 10 times more value for your investment than you're actually putting in. That's how firmly we believe in the mission. That's how good we are at what we do. That's how determined we are to change the trajectory of the Black community for the next 500 years. We are forward-thinking visionaries in the sense that everybody else is yapping about what just happened yesterday. Everybody's mad about reacting to something that white people just did to them. We're not really thinking so much about that. We're actually using models that allow us to control the 22nd century. We're not trying to control the 21st century. A lot of that's gone. A lot of that's hard to catch up with, but we're trying to control the 22nd century, which is very easy to do if you get there first, but you get there first mentally, right? A person, for example, 100 years ago, if a person 100 years ago had made plans to control the year 2018 by making sure that you and your family had plenty of money in your bank account and everything else and plenty of institutions, they could have easily put you in a position where you could literally have controlled 2018. Unfortunately, though, 100 years ago, people weren't thinking about 2018. They were thinking about 1918. You see, now we're doing something different. We're not thinking so much about 2018. We're thinking about 2118. We're thinking about the 22nd century. And by planning that far ahead, it means you can literally drop little tiny amounts of investment into the community that will grow into gigantic sycamore trees of assets. in the year 2118. Why do I know this? Well, because my PhD's in finance, my master's degrees in mathematics. I know how to do mathematics at the highest levels. I know how to do the equations. And when I do the equations, I'm trying to convince every smart, intelligent Black person who will listen. And a lot of Black folks do listen to me. I'm not saying nobody listens. I just wish millions of people would listen instead of a few, because I have solutions. We have solutions. The solutions are there, right? And that's why I need your help. I want you to tell everybody, like, listen to this shit. This guy's a little crazy. He cusses too much, but he's not a complete idiot, right? And the reality is that if we just took if we as a community took 1/100th of what we give to white people and just said, we're going to plant this seed for the future, Black people would take over. But in less than 50 years, Black people would have an average income that exceeds white people. I'm talking about in America. I swear to God, if we just took 1/100th of the resources that we give to white people and put them back into our community, we literally could have wealth levels and income levels that come close to what white people have. There will be millions of Black people that have income levels and asset levels that exceed the average white American, because white people are not that smart. White people are not invincible. White people are not the opponent that you cannot defeat. White people are not the Golden State Warriors. White people are not Ivan Drago in the Rocky movies. White people are human just like you. The only difference is that they don't have the power of the melanin, and they don't have a Boyce Watkins that's helping shape this future. And I'm not just talking about me. There's other people out here that are very smart, and I love them. I respect them. I think they're great. But I tell you the truth. There are ways that we can win this battle. At the very least, though, you can win it within your own family. And I encourage you to do things that are different. Don't do what everybody else is doing, or you're going to get what everybody else is getting. You do things different if you want to get different. I'm done talking. I didn't mean to go off on it too much. I'm so, this pumps me up so much because I know it works. I know it works. And that's why I'm sharing it with you. That's why I'm talking to you guys about it. So I'm about to go. Again, if you want to join, you can go to intelligentblackpeople.com. That's intelligentblackpeople.com. When I get back from China, I've already taken extensive notes on my visit. I've studied about 2,500 years of Chinese history. We walked around Shanghai last night for about 4 hours, and the whole time we were listening to an audiobook together on Chinese history. And so I think I have a very clear picture on what the Chinese have done to utilize powernomics principles to build the strongest economy on earth. And so what I want to do in this lecture is train you on how you can actually apply Chinese powernomics principles to your family and make your family one of the strongest economic entities in your community, where no matter what the rest of the Black community does, even if Black people never get on board, even if Black people never understand the value of their dollar, even if Black people never gain the discipline to overcome the brainwashing, even if Black people never decide to move forward and keep moving backward, it won't happen to you. Right? So you might be on the Titanic, but that don't mean you can't build a lifeboat. That's all I got to say. I'm done. Have a great day. Love you guys. It was awesome. See you soon. Don't forget to hit the like button, the share button, and all this stuff. I'll see you later.